Today I'll be discussing about the connective tissue. In my previous video I have discussed about the epithelial tissue and today we will talk about the connective tissue. Now when you will see this word connective tissue, it is written connect. Now what is the first thing that will come in your mind after looking at the word connective tissue is related to connection or joining. Now why it is termed as connective tissue? Because it is used for connecting one or more organs or to join one or more organs or different parts of the body. So for the joining purpose or for the connection purpose, it is also known as the joining tissue. So it is also known as the joining tissue. So it is also termed as joining tissue. Why? Because it is used to join one or more of the organs or one or more parts of the body. Then when you will talk about it, it is the most abundant type of tissue that is found in our body and it is approx 30%. It is about 30% of our body part. So it is the most abundant type of tissue that is found in our body and it is about 30% of our body part. So 30% of our body part. So this is about the connective tissue. Now based on the structure or based on the function, it is classified into three types. So let us see the three types of connective tissue. Connective tissue is classified into three types. First one is connective tissue proper. Then the second is skeletal tissue and the third is vascular tissue. Now it is composed of three types or it is of three types. First is connective tissue proper, second one is skeletal tissue and the third one is vascular tissue. Now when we will talk about it, so let us discuss one by one in detail. So first we will discuss about the connective tissue proper. So first part, that is connective tissue proper. Now it is of again four types. First one areolar tissue, second one is adipose tissue, third one is tendon and the fourth one is ligament. So the four types of connective tissue proper are areolar tissue, adipose tissue, tendon and ligament. Now again we will discuss them in detail or we will discuss them one by one. So first we will discuss about the areolar tissue. So when you will talk about the areolar tissue, it is the most abundant type of tissue that is formed among connective tissue proper. So first point will be most abundant in number. Now when you will talk about the location, they are formed as the continuous layer of our skin. They are present beneath the skin in the form of continuous layer. So they are found beneath the skin in the form of continuous layers. So this is the areolar tissue, this is the characteristic, this is the location. Now we will talk about the function. Now what is the main function of this areolar tissue? It provides protection. So the main function of the areolar tissue is it provides protection. So protection or you can say mechanical support. It provides protection or mechanical support to our body parts. So this was about the function of the areolar tissue. Now we will come to the adipose tissue. Now when you will talk about the adipose tissue, they are also found beneath the cell, and what is the main role of this adipose tissue? They are used to store the fat in our body, or it is also termed as the fat reservoir of our body. So the first thing you can say is fat reservoir of our body. Now when you will talk about the location where they are present, so they are present in the beneath the skin. So when you will talk about the location, they are found beneath the skin, or you can say in between the internal organs. So in So this was about the location of the adipose tissue. They are present beneath the skin or in between the internal organs. So this is the location of the adipose tissue. Now we will discuss about its function. As I have already told you that it acts as the fat reservoir. So it stores the fat. First function, and second function acts as a shock proof. acts as a shock proof, or you can say it acts as a cushion. So this is about the function. In your book it is given that a storage tissue where fat is kept, then shock absorbing cushion, then it is present beneath the skin. As I have already told you that it is present beneath the skin, so it helps to shape up the body also, and insulating layer. So insulating layer is present, that is why it acts as a shock proof material. So this was about the adipose tissue. Now we will come to the tendon. Now, when we will talk about the tendon, it is a cord-like fibrous connective tissue. It is a cord-like fibrous connective tissue which is used to connect muscles to a bone. So, main role of tendon is to connect muscle This is the main role of tendon. What is the main role? That it connects muscle to bone, and it is a cord-like fibrous tissue that are present in our body. So this was about the function part. Now when we will talk about its composition, so it is composed of white fibrous connective tissue. So when you will talk about the composition, composition, it is composed of white fibrous connective tissue. So white fibrous connective tissue. And when you will talk about its characteristics, so you can say that elasticity is less but strength is more. So more strength, less elasticity. To understand it more clearly, you can see that suppose you can consider this area. So a bone is present here and a muscle is present here. So you can see a connection is between the bone and the muscle, that is because of the tendon. Now you can see that this particular area is not as much flexible as compared to this area. So that is why you can say that strength is more but flexibility or elasticity is less in case of tendon. So this was about the tendon. Then we will discuss about the next part, that is ligament. Now, in case of ligament, bone is connected to another bone by the means of ligament. So what is the main role of ligament? It connects bone to bone. It is the main characteristic. Now when again it is a fibrous cord-like fibrous connective tissue. So when you will talk about which type of connective tissue, so here yellow fibrous connective tissue is used. So yellow fibrous connective tissue is used in case of ligament. And when you will talk about the characteristics, so elasticity is more but strength is less as compared to tendon. So it is less as compared to tendon. So this is about the ligament. Now we will come to the next part, that is skeletal tissue. Now, skeletal tissue is also known as the supportive tissue. Why? Because it acts as a supportive framework of the body. So, they are also known as the supporting tissue or supportive tissue, because it acts as the supportive framework of our body or of the invertebrates. Now, what are invertebrates? I hope you know that the difference between vertebrates and invertebrates. So, the vertebrates are the organisms with the backbone. The organisms which are having backbone, they are considered as invertebrates. So, they are present in invertebrates, skeletal tissues are present. So, this is about the skeletal tissue. Then now again we will talk about its type. It is again of two types. First one, bone, and second one is cartilage. So, it is of two types. First one is bone and the second one is cartilage. Now, we will discuss cartilage and bone in detail. Now, we will discuss about the skeletal tissue cartilage. So, as I was explaining that skeletal tissue is a hard connective tissue and it provides the supportive framework of vertebrates. If you want, you can underline this part vertebrates, as vertebrates are the organism in which backbone is present. So, it is a supportive framework of vertebrates. So, when you will talk about the skeletal tissue, they are present in all the vertebrates including the humans. Now, it is of two types, bone and cartilage. So, first we will discuss about the cartilage. So, you can see it is a compact, firm but flexible. Why this word is given compact, firm but flexible? Because in physics you might have studied about the solid, that the substances are compactly packed and that is why they are rigid. But in case of cartilage, they are compact, firm but still they are flexible. So, flexibility is present in case of cartilage. Now, when you will talk about the structure, cartilage cells are present and then a matrix is present. Now, when you will talk about matrix, matrix is a ground substance or a fluid like substance that is filled inside or that is filled between the cells. So, you can see a fluid like or a ground substance is present in this. So, that is nothing else but the matrix. So, matrix you can also say that it is a ground substance. Then you can also see lacunae is found in cartilage. Now, what is lacunae? It is a fluid filled space. So, the fluid filled space that is seen in case of cartilage, that is nothing else but the lacunae. So, this was about the structural part of the cartilage. Now, when we will come to the location part, you can see that it occurs in the rings of windpipes and at the end of the bones. So, when you will study the respiratory system, or in class 6 you might have studied respiratory system. So, I have taught about the rings that are present in our respiratory system or in the trachea. So, they are present there. And at the end of the bones, they are present. Now, they are also present at the walls of the respiratory passage. So, it was about the location. Respiratory passage include nose, then you can say so many respiratory passage, pinna, ear, everything they are present. So, it was about the walls of respiratory passage including the ears also and in the pinna also of ear. Then, when you will talk about the function, the main function is to support and provide elasticity to the soft tissue. As you have already seen that it is a flexible thing, so that is why it is providing the elasticity to the soft tissues. Why the soft tissues? Because cartilage is itself a kind of soft tissue. Softness is there in cartilage. Then facilitates the movement. It facilitates the movement also and it acts as a shock absorbent also. So, it facilitates the movement and it acts as a shock absorbent. And a very common example that you can feel about the cartilage is about your ears. You can see that this part of ear can be easily moved and this is nothing else but the cartilage is present here. You can see a soft portion is present in your ear, this region of the ear. So, that is nothing else but the cartilage. So, this was about the cartilage. Now, we will discuss about the bones. Now, we will discuss about the bone. So, what is bone? Bone is the hardest connective tissue that forms the skeletal of our body or skeleton of our body. If you have seen a human skeleton or a picture of human skeleton, you have seen that it is composed of all bones. All the bones are joined together, or it is acting like a framework to our body. So, a bone is a hardest substance or hardest connective tissue, and it acts as the framework of our body. Then you can see that matrix is also found in bone. Like in cartilage also matrix was present, but in here matrix is present, but in case of bone it is found in concentric layers. What is the meaning of concentric? One above the another. So concentric layers of matrix are present in case of bone. So you can see the concentric layers or concentric circles I have drawn. So these are nothing else but the matrix. And then you can see deposition of salts. So salts are present in case of bone. So because of the deposition of salt, bone is hard. When you were talking about the cartilage was soft tissue, but in case of bone that is hard because of the presence or deposition of salt. Salt is deposited, and as a result of that it becomes hard. Then long bones are usually hollow. When you see the long bones, they are usually hollow from inside, and then bone marrow is richly supplied with blood vessels. Though at this stage you are not, it is not necessary for you to know the bone marrow in detail, only you must be knowing about in the bone that it is present. Only this much. At higher level you will be knowing about the bone marrow in detail, and it is supplied with blood vessels, and RBCs and WBCs are present in case of bone marrow. So these are the characteristics that are found in the bone. Then when you will talk about the structure of the bone, you can see, as I have already told, that matrix is present in the form of concentric layers. So you can see concentric layers are there. So they are nothing else but the matrix. Then these are the cells. You can see I have drawn these things. So these are nothing else but the cells, and a space of middle one is there, a canal type of space is there. So that is nothing else but the central canal. So this was about the structure of the bone. The structure is also given in your book. All the structures are given in your book. Now we will come to the location. So where they are present, they are rigid endoskeletal of the body. So they are, as I have already told you, that the skeletal of the body is because of the bone. So they are present entirely at the endoskeleton or at the skeletal part of our body. Then when you will talk about the function, you can see, as I am repeating this again, that it acts as the framework. So it protects the internal organ. All the internal organs are protected because of the presence of the bones. And then when you will talk about the reservoir, as I have already told here, that salts are deposited. So they are reservoir of calcium, protein and phosphorus. If your bones become weak, so doctor recommend you calcium tablets or calcium supplements. So because bone is responsible, or bone is supplied with calcium, phosphorus and protein, so that is why calcium is recommended when our bone becomes weak. And last one is helps in the body movement. All the body movement is responsible because of the presence of the bone. So this was about the bone, and in this part we have completed our skeletal tissue also. Now we will proceed to our next part. Now we will discuss the vascular tissue. So when you will talk about the vascular tissue, when I was explaining about the plant tissues, I have told about the vascular bundles. So here vascular tissues are responsible, in plants also they are responsible for the transportation, and in animals also they are responsible for the transportation. Now for transporting food, materials, nutrients, blood in our body, a medium is required. So that comes under the vascular tissue. So vascular tissue is nothing else but the transporting chamber or the transporting medium of our body. Now it is of two types. First one is blood, and the second one is lymph. First one is blood and the second one is lymph. So vascular tissue, they both are responsible for transporting the substance or the nutrients throughout our body. Now we will discuss blood and lymph one by one. Now, when you will talk about a blood, blood is everyone is aware of the blood. It is a substance that is present in our body, and what is the main role of the blood? It is used to transport oxygen throughout our body. So the oxygen is carried throughout our body by means of blood. So blood is a liquid substance that is present in our body, and it is thicker than water. This is the main characteristic of blood. So it is a liquid that is present in our body, or it is a fluid that is present in our body, and it is little thicker than that of water. And what is the main role of blood? To transport oxygen, prepared food, nutrients throughout our body. So this was about the role. Then when we will talk about the blood, it is classified into two types, broadly, roughly into two types. So first one is in the type of corpuscles. Corpuscles, or you can say in the cells form, and the second one is plasma. So corpuscles are only the cellular part, and plasma is only the blood without the cell. So corpuscles are the cells or cellular part of the blood, and plasma is the blood minus cell. So this is the main thing, corpuscles and plasma. So these are the two composition of the corpuscles and plasma. Now when we will talk about the corpuscles, it is again divided into three types. First one is RBC, second one is WBCs, and the third one is platelets. First one is RBCs, second one is WBCs, third one is platelets. When you will talk about the RBCs, the another name of RBCs are erythrocytes. So the another name of RBCs are erythrocytes. When you will talk about the WBCs, they are named as leukocytes. And when you will talk about the platelets, they are termed as thrombocytes. So in your book, it is only given the full form, like RBCs are the red blood cells, WBCs are the white blood cells, and platelets or thrombocytes. But another name is there. If you want, you can write it down. Please write it down in your book also. On page number 20, please mention it in front of RBCs, erythrocytes, in place of WBC, leukocytes, and in place of platelets, it will be thrombocytes. I am writing it clearly. RBCs are erythrocytes. So these are the names. You are supposed to write it down in your book. So this was about the corpuscles part, and plasma is, as I have already told you, that the blood component without the cell. How this cell is removed, that you will study in the higher classes. Only at this level you must be knowing that the plasma is the blood without the corpuscles or without these parts, and the corpuscles are the RBC, WBC and platelets. Now when we will talk about the function of the blood, the main function, as I am telling you from that time, that it is used to transport the food, to transport the oxygen, the nutrients and minerals throughout our body. So first function will be transportation. This is the main function. Then the second function will be maintaining of temperature, then helps in the blood clotting. So blood clotting is responsible because of the thrombocytes. Then it helps to protect our body against diseases, that is because of the WBCs or white blood cells, because they act as the soldier of our body. And if you have seen a wound is there, any injury is there, a blood is coming from our body, then after some time a clotting is there. A blood starts to clot. That is because of the presence of platelets or thrombocytes. Now what is the role of the platelets? Why clotting occurs? Because if clotting will not occur, if deposition of clots will not be there, whole blood or a large amount of blood will be wasted from our body. So to prevent that wastage or to prevent that a clotting is there because of the presence of the platelets. So this was about the function of the blood. Now we will talk about the lymph. Now when you will talk about the lymph, blood is a somewhat red in color, lymph is colorless or yellowish in color. Now what is lymph? Lymph is a blood without corpuscles and protein. So you can say it is blood minus corpuscles and protein. So it is the blood that is without the corpuscles and protein. So that is termed as lymph. Now what is the main role of the lymph? It protects our body from infection. It provides the antibody to our body, and this main function, it acts as the transporting chamber, means the waste is collected and transported from one medium to another with the help of lymph only. Like if oxygen is supposed to be transported throughout our body, that is transported by the lymph, and if waste is supposed to be excreted out from the body, it has to be excreted from through the medium of the lymph. So that is used as the supportive chamber. So if you will talk about the function, first one will be, you can say that it protects our body from infection, or the second thing, protection. And the second one is same thing, the movement or the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen in our body. Carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange in our body. So this was about the vascular tissue. Now we will discuss about the muscular tissue. So we have completed the connective tissue. Now we will come to the muscular tissue. Now, when you will talk about the muscular tissue, they are the tissues, as the name suggests muscular, they are the tissues that are present in the muscles of our body. So, muscular tissues are again are of three types. First one is striated, second one is unstriated, and the third one is cardiac. So striated muscles, unstriated muscles and cardiac. Now we will discuss them in detail. Now we will discuss the muscular tissues. As I have already told, it is of three types: striated, unstriated and cardiac. Now when you will talk about the striated, I have drawn all three together so that we can compare them easily. So you can see striated is there. They are long and cylindrical, and striations are present. You can see a line is there, that is striation. That is why they are termed as striated muscles. So they are long and cylindrical. This was about the structure of striated. When you will talk about the unstriated, they are long and tapering. Tapering means pointed at both the ends, and they are not striated. That is why they are termed as unstriated muscles. And when you will talk about the cardiac muscles, again you will see that they are long, cylindrical, and they are branched. You can see it is branching is given. So they are cylindrical and they are branched. So they comes under cardiac muscles. Now when you will talk about the location, they are present at the skeleton. Then they are present at the tubular organs like walls of intestine, wall of respiratory passage, wall of urinary bladder. And when you will talk about it, it is present at our heart. Then when you will talk about the nucleus, they are multinucleated. So many nucleus are present. It is uninucleated. Single nucleus is present, and it is also multinucleated. Then when you will talk about the mode of action, so they are voluntary, means movement of hand, keeping the book on a table, these all comes under voluntary action, and that is because of the skeletal muscles. Then involuntary, like movement of the food from mouth to the food pipe to the stomach, that is because of the peristalsis movement, then urinary bladder movement, these all comes under the unstriated or involuntary movement. And the last one is involuntary action is seen in case of cardiac muscles also, like the movement of our heart that cannot be controlled by us, so that comes under the cardiac muscles. So these three are given. A table is given in your book also, you can refer, so many points are given, you can refer and you can understand them easily. Though I have already explained all the points, but you can read and explain. Now our last topic is nervous tissue or nervous system. Now I am going to explain that. Now we will come to our last part, that is nervous tissue. Now I have drawn a diagram of nervous tissue. So nervous tissue consists of three parts. First one is cyton, it is also known as the cell body. Second one is known as the axon, and the third one is dendrites. If I will want to explain it, cyton is the content or cyton is the area where cell is present, means up to this area cellular part is present, so that is why it comes under cyton. It is also known as cell body. In some of the books it's given, in some of the book it's not given, so if you want you can write it down, cyton as the cell body. Then axon is the long process, you can see from here till here a long process is present, a long area is present, that is nothing else but the axon. And the third one is dendrites, they are the branches. Now this was about the structure of the nervous system. When I will talk about what is actually nervous system or what is the role of the nervous system. So the main role of nervous system is to transmit the impulses or to transmit the messages throughout our body. Suppose if we want to lift up a book, so according to us we simply take our hand, lift up the book, or if I want to lift this book, I have taken like this. But why? Because some activities, some actions are going inside our body. So if we want to lift up the book, immediately we have sent the impulse to the brain that I want to pick up the book, and brain immediately send the impulse to my hand muscles that yes, you are supposed to pick up the book. Means in fractions of second, you cannot calculate the seconds also in what in that instance occurred. So that is because of the continuous impulses transmission that is taking place. If I want to write, similarly if I want to write, then again I have sent the impulse to my brain that yes, I am going to write. Then brain has immediately sent me the impulse that to my hand and to my body that turn that side and write. So this is the transmission of impulse that is going on inside our body at every moment, every second, milliseconds, or you cannot even imagine the fraction of seconds. So that is because of the presence of the nervous tissue that is present in our body. So this was about the overview of the nervous tissue. When you will talk about the location, they are present, as I am telling that my brain is sending the impulse, I am sending the impulse to brain. So the location will be brain and the spinal cord. And when you will talk about the function, the main function is to receive the impulses or signals or to transmit the impulse. Means I will receive the impulse from the brain or I will transmit the impulse to the brain. Suppose if you will touch any hot object, immediately you will remove your hand. Why? Because your senses are saying that yes, that object is too hot for us. So brain sent the impulse to us that immediately we are supposed to remove the hand. So that is because of the continuous exchange of the impulses. So this was about the nervous tissue. Now here we come to an end of our chapter, but students, on page number 23, structure of nerve cell is given, the same structure which I have drawn, or all the diagrams which I have drawn in my on my board. So those diagrams you are supposed to practice in your rough copy. But few of the diagrams, when I will give the question answers, like fill in the blanks, short answers, long answers, everything we will providing in the form of PDF. So what you are supposed to do, the short answers like name the following, short answer, long answer questions like on page number 25, A, B and C questions, you are supposed to write it down in your notebook. And when you will see about the objective questions like choose the odd one out, then fill in the blanks, true, false, choose the correct, match the following. These up to H you are supposed to write down in your book itself. Then again differentiate part, that is I part, you are supposed to write down in your notebook. And at the end also I will mention that which diagram you are supposed to draw. So diagrams, if you want, you can note it down right now also, that on page number 23 this particular diagram is given, structure of nerve cell. This you are supposed to draw in your book, in your copy, this particular diagram. And this 3 types of muscles that I have drawn previously, these 2 diagrams you are supposed to draw in your fair copy. So when I will be attaching the PDF, kindly go through all my videos, read the book thoroughly, please don't leave any of the line of your book, and write down the questions and answer as well as the diagrams in your copy. I hope the chapter is clear to you. Thank you so much.